know, everybody's hit hard during the drought. The ducks and geese are hit especially hard. Without rain, the northern prairie marshes just dry up. The ducks have no home. Ducks Unlimited works hard so waterfowl and other wildlife will always have the wetland habitat they need. In some places this year, the only water they had was on a Ducks Unlimited project. Ducks Unlimited, providing homes for nature's homeless.
In sports today, women athletes are competing and experiencing the thrill of victory, just like men. Although our modern acceptance of women in sports is a relatively recent development, some women who enjoy the challenge have competed in sports down through the ages, often in defiance of social conventions. A new exhibition at the Schlesinger Library of Radcliffe College chronicles the history of women in sports. I'm pleased to welcome the co-curator, Sally Fox. Ms. Fox, why don't we start out by talking about how you got interested in this topic of women in sports down through history?
Well, this is part of a series that I'm doing now. I'm a picture researcher, and I decided after many years of documenting textbooks with pictures and finding illustrations, I decided that I would use my experience to document what's not been documented, which is the lives of ordinary women in the past. And very often it's the only way to document women's history is through the visual image. And this is the fourth book that I've done. The other two were on medieval women and documenting occupations and Victorian women.
This book is called The Sporting Woman.
That's right.
Where did you come up with the title for that?
Well, you need a good spirit. And the sporting women all through history have had that spirit because they clearly did it whether it was acceptable or not acceptable, and they did it in spite of a lot of restrictions, both social and as well as restrictions having to do with clothing.
It's interesting to see just how far back in history the images of women athletes go. You've got a picture, for example, of an ancient Egyptian woman swimming. That's from 1300 BC or something like that?
That's right, that's right. And the Nile was part of Egyptian life, and so this was clearly, I have to say that this is not professional athletes. These are all sports that were done by ordinary women, and it was part of their daily lives. And I think that's important to remember.
But in terms of athletic competition, we often think of sports beginning with the ancient Greeks. Women were not allowed to take part in the Olympic Games,
That's
but
right.
did Greek
not
women?
Not even a spectator.
Right.
But in all years, they had a running meet called the Here in the same Olympic Stadium in all years, but it was interesting that they were only allowed to run 5/6 the distance.
And there's an image that we have of a statue of
yes,
a
that's
woman
called
running.
the Spartan Girl. And there are very few images, actually, of Greek athletic women. This is one of the few.
One of the more remarkable images in the book is of a group of Roman women. It's a mosaic, I think.